Give the Lord praise. Happy Sabbath. All right. We got this on the road, and we're going to get it started. Got a lot to get out. We're continuing in our series, Israel, the series. And we dealt with color. And last week, but this week, we're going to deal with conditions. Because dealing and understanding with Israel is so significant that the Lord gives you several ways to figure out who Israel is. We dealt with it by color last week, but this week we're going to deal with it by conditions. And some shocking things we're going to get into. I want to warn you, we're going to see some we're going to see images that may incite, the intent is not to incite hatred toward any stranger, but it may be offensive culturally to you, but nevertheless it's to drive home a point that God put specific conditions on the children of Israel that don't fit nobody else to the extent that we're going to show you and the book show you. Now we're going to drop this right, I'm going to drop this right in our neighborhood. I'm going to drop this possibly right in somebody's living room in their very heart right now, and we're going to deal with some things concerning the criminal justice system. And the criminal justice system, as anyone that's black very well know, there's a criminal justice system problem here in America. And you know, they trying to reform the criminal justice system. The thing with George Floyd last year drove home the problem that there is in the black community. And I'm going to just go down the slide right quick, and we're going to get to the biggest thing that hit the black community this day and time. Now we dealt last week with color in the Bible. Make sure everybody can see that image. We dealt with color. We on why us today. Why us? Why us, y'all? Why we got more unemployed? More poverty, more infant mortality, from slavery to the prisons, y'all. More churches, more deaths, more anger, more social injustice. Now we're going to deal with blacks in the prison house, a major issue in our community. Flat out. Flat out. Now, if you've been black and living in America, as a special young man, black young man, by the time you get to age 21, you're going to have some dealings with the criminal justice system in one way or the other. And if you have it, don't worry, it's coming. It is coming. We gonna see, y'all. Even when you get in the Word, you gonna find out the Lord ain't playing, y'all. This thing is on us. And in so much, the front of the Atlantic magazine said the black family and the age of mass incarceration, y'all. This is on a public matter. This is a black family that has to deal with what we finna read right here in Isaiah 42 and 21. We're gonna take it to the living room. Like they sitting in the living room, we're gonna put this. Some of y'all know about this here right here. You know about this. Isaiah 42 and 21. I want you to read that. We're gonna go Isaiah 42 and 21. Because this is a significant issue, big time in the black community. But it's in the Word of God. It is in the Word of God, y'all. So let's read that. Isaiah 42 and 21. Read.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
And make it what?
Honorable.
Honorable, y'all. Honorable. Go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses.
No, she said they are hid in what? Prison houses, y'all. Now, I always like to hear people with this, especially my brother or sister that would call herself African American. I said, even if I just met you, I got 3 things to say to you about a black person. I said, oh, you. I may not know your name, my brother and sister, but I do know that you either been through jail, you know somebody real close to you that's in jail, somebody you know coming out of jail, or you yourself have, I already said been in jail. I said that already. You been in jail, you going through, somebody on the way to jail. That's what I meant to say. Somebody's on the way to jail that you know that look like you. That look like you. This is a major problem. Go ahead. Verse 23.
Who among you will give ear to this?
Who's gonna hear this, y'all? Go ahead.
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
See, this is for a time to come. That right there, the black family in the age of mass incarceration. Notice what the book said. Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? We are in this time, y'all. Been in it for a little while, but go ahead.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers.
Oh, so these are Israelites right now? That's Israel right there. You best to believe it. That is Israel. All those are Israelites right there in that picture. Flat out. Go ahead.
Did not the Lord?
Who did this? The white man. Who did this?
The Lord.
The book said the Lord. See, that's the problem. We ain't turning to the one that has the power of life and death in our hand, the power to put us in these incarcerated situations. It said, did not the Lord? Go ahead.
He against whom we have sinned.
See, it is against God that we have sinned. Because you go to any one of these so-called churches on the mall, they always diminishing the law. But the book said he gonna make it honorable.
Right.
But where you find most of us hanging out at, we're gonna look at that too. Oh, we're gonna deal with the condition of Israel. We know about Israel. Trust me. Go ahead.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Oh, that's why we here in prison houses. That's why we got a criminal justice system in the black community. You got that right. Well, we got more churches than everybody else. More churches, y'all. Go ahead.
Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
See, we ain't laying that the problem, the criminal justice system problem, is talked about in the Word of God. We ain't laying that to heart. We want to run on. The white man is, the white man is. Reform the police system. Put away the police. Fire the police. You're the criminal. No, we the criminals because we're not doing like the Lord said. We're not laying this to heart, y'all. And this is a major black problem. Major. Major. Now, this is statistics. I'm going to go here. Like I said, we're going to lay this right in your living room. Now, our information comes from the racial inequalities in the criminal justice system. From Narco Mindset. Source, George G. Valier, SPHD.com. About the racial inequalities in the criminal justice system. Racial disparity in the U.S. criminal justice system exists. In their report to the United Nations, the Sentencing Project stated that the data shows it clearly, they want to call us African Americans, adults are almost 6 times more likely to be incarcerated than whites. Why? We just read it in Isaiah 42, verses 20 to 25. But you think they're going to read that in church on Sunday? Are you serious? If they do, it's over. It is over. They're going to be like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. The book say, look, 1 in every 3 black boys born about 20 years ago can be expected to go to prison in his lifetime. That's why I tell my sons, hey, look, I mean, I pray to God we don't get the call, but if it come, I myself, when I got immediately in the Word, ended up in a lockup for doing a little minor little thing way back in 91. I'm like, dude. But when I went up in there, like, are we jailbirds? I mean, it was on. So this right here is no joke. You know about this. Why we think we hollering Black Lives Matter? Child, please. Yeah, like I said, we said this in your living room. We're going to start with what's happening right now. We ain't talking about, we ain't going there yet. What happened 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We started with what's going on today. Reality check right now. Notice, again, 1 in every 3 black boys born about 20 years ago can expect to go to prison in his lifetime, compared to 1 in 17 of white boys. Come on now. This statistic is devastating, and virtue prophesies how the criminal justice system is bent with a bias toward keeping what they want to call African American. But we know this is real. Entrapped in a vicious cycle, y'all. In the word afterward, you're going to experience this. Equal Justice Initiative has revealed data that shows how the U.S. has erupted with a lock me up, mass incarceration culture. That's why I know I meet somebody black. I ain't got to know your name, bro. I know you know somebody in jail. Either you been in jail or you on your way to jail. You got a problem with the system, or you know somebody that look just like you, brother or sister. Just like you. I don't even know your name yet, but I know you Israel. I do know that. Notice, which has been particularly harmful to the minority communities. Although the U.S. has about 5% of the world population, our country has sorry about that typo, the highest incarceration rate in the world. And they call this the land of the free and the home of the brave. And we might as well just, delete that little free part out of there. No. Anyway, about that. Incarceration is more than 500% higher overall than it was 4 decades ago, y'all. In 2015. Anyway, we're going to keep it moving, y'all. That right there, you ought to be like, child, please, the lesson is over. You ain't got to tell me I'm Israel. Now look at somebody's mother. That's somebody's mother, y'all. This lady picture taken July 30th, 2020. Last year, y'all. That's somebody's mama. Somebody's mama cried like that yesterday. Somebody's mama getting ready to cry like that. Why? Because of Isaiah 42, 21 and 25. But you think they're going to read this in church on Sunday? You think they're going to read that in them churches tomorrow? And they talking about the law ain't no more. Oh, when he said, I'm going to make the law honorable. Come on, y'all. Look at this. The ratio of imprisonment rates, black males to white males by age from 18 to 19. My son, I got sons within that range. It's 12.7% higher. Look, 12.17 times more likely to be imprisoned than the Gentiles or the strangers of the same age, y'all. Then it drops down. That's why you have to be on your teenage son, or some of us might be too late. Some of them might be in jail right now. On his way to jail. His behavior is taking him to jail. That's the way it is with Israel. Because we ain't led it to heart. We're not obedient to his law. And he said, who gonna hearken for the time? Who gonna hearken to this? Now, let's go and look at one situation. Marijuana usage versus possession and arrest by race. Because they don't legalize marijuana. But you look at blacks' use, 17.8% of us, 16.5% of them. But when it comes to arrest rates, look at that. Are you serious, dude? Child, please. Look at that. That is absurd. But if you read the book, Isaiah 42, 21 through 25, you're like, yep, we them people. I have no doubt. For some of y'all, the lesson is over. Y'all like, man, I'm good. I'm going to go to sleep. Anyway, I'm done. I know I'm Israel. I know we the children. You know that. Look at that glaring in your face, undeniable facts. And as, you know, the Gentiles looking at this, they're like, yeah, them people. That's them people. Straight up. Now look at the ratio, y'all. That's why it got 1 in 3 of us. 1 in 3 of us, y'all. Look at everybody else. 1 in 17 white men of all women. Now look at amongst black women, it's fair and better. 1 in 18. That's why we have a lot of women who are single, excuse me, households that are black women led, because only 1 in 18 of them is in jail, whereas 1 in 3 of us is in jail. Come on, y'all. Some of y'all don't need any further convincing, do you? Anyway, Latina will look at that. Why? Because of Isaiah 42. Somebody getting ready to cry like that. Somebody is doing this right now, today, because they got put in there yesterday, one of us. And you know, or you might be getting ready to do that tomorrow or Monday, because you got caught. And I'll never forget, I went and stood up for a brother in Maryland as a character witness for the Jake, and my gosh, I mean, I read book, but when you see book hit you clean in the face like, I walked in this criminal justice hall, and I was like, dang, I read it, but I'm sitting here looking clear as scripture. And then I walk into the court to stand up for the brother, and guess who the attorney is? We have one black attorney. I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? The rest of them was Gentiles. I'm like, okay, roger that. But I was standing out here, I'm like, man, look, it's on the line, y'all. It's right there. It's undeniable. Undeniable. Now look at this. Prison rating admissions, it's kind of tapering off a little bit, y'all. Just a little bit. It started to taper off a little bit. Okay? So let's move on to the next leg of this. Black and death by injustice. Now, I got to warn you, we're going to look at some pictures that I was like, thank God I know Jesus. And I understand why some of our Hebrew Israelites are radical. And they go into this tangent and they never come out of their flesh. They stay in their hate for everybody outside our race. I'll put it like that. But let's read Leviticus 26 and 39. Now, pine away means to lose vigor, health, or flesh as through grief. Through grief. So we're going to read Leviticus 26 and 39. Read. When you get it. Because I'm like, son, it's coming. Just brace for impact, son. It's going to happen. You know, just make sure your nose is clean. No. Come on.
And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity. In your enemy's land. And also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them.
Now look, he was speaking to black folks when he said that. They that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquities in their enemies' lands. And also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. He was talking to people that look like that. So let's get into it, y'all. Oh, I was like, thank you, Jesus. The first injustice we're going to look at as far as death is lynching. Oh my gosh. You okay, y'all? Lynchings. Look, they just passed an anti-lynching law February 26th of 2020. Remember this, we had a black president from 2008 to 2016, 8 years, and he couldn't get it done. So, I mean, you know, let's start out with that. But the shame of America, do you know that the United States is the only land on earth where humans are being burned at the stake still? We're talking, what year is this? 1889 to 1921. And you had something happen beyond that. But these are some of the lynchings that got publicly noticed. the lynching of Joe Cole in 1891. All the way down, you got Henry Smith, the lynching of Julia Francis Baker, 1898. You got Emmett Till. Let's get to the one everybody, up in the heave over, But look at all this. Emmett Till in 1955. Charles Mack Parker, 1959. James Byrd Jr., 1998. I'm like, whoa, is that right? Yeah. That ain't too long ago, y'all. That is not too long ago. But the Lord said we're going to pine away in our enemy's land. And look at how this lynching is. Look. Oh my God. This is a map of 73 years of lynchings that was done in the South. Look at this, y'all. But remember, they just got through last year outlawing lynchings last year, y'all. It just came a federal crime. Last year. Anyway. But every state has had a lynching in it, y'all. Every state. Now, they got it right here in this little block. The number of people killed by lynchings from 1882 to 1968, it came all the way down to 1. You had to look him up. They hit him under a rock. Anyway, they swept that under the rug. We don't lynch. We don't lynch white folks, Who do you think that was lynching? But the Lord said, y'all. Now this is where we come from. That's why we had to do a thing in our dialogue table for Black History Month. How far have we come, and how far do we have to go, y'all? Somebody, look, mass lynchings. These are the Christmas ornaments. We was that. Look at this man right here. Lynched and burned. Beat, burned, and lynched. Choked, burned, and lynched. And then they just burnt him. Flat out. But this is where we come from, y'all. Pining away. Now this here is 2010. 2010 in Mississippi, y'all. But let's read Deuteronomy 21 and 28. Because the Lord's going to drop the curses on us, y'all. And this thing followed us all the way from Jerusalem. Let's read Deuteronomy 21 and 23, y'all. This is a hanging death in Mississippi. Blacks died to death in small southern town is a suicide. Okay? They want answers now. This guy is named Frederick Jermaine Carter. Born 1984, January 7th, 1984, died December 3rd, 2010. He looked like somebody I know, man. But look, this is 2010. This is 10 years ago, y'all. Read that.
His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God, that thy land be not defiled, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
So now, look, let's move right along to some of these other atrocities, y'all. That right there in particular. Woo! Then we're going to go to Zechariah 11 and 4 through 5. Now, the U.S. police shootings, blacks disproportionately affected, y'all. Now this is deaths per million, 1,301 total deaths, y'all. Now this is as of July 14, 2020 last year. Source, Washington Post. Look at that, y'all. That's why I wanted to make this visual. But let me go for the people that's in the conference call room. Blacks, 31. The rate of 31, y'all, per million. Disproportionately affected. The nearest one is 23. That's the Hispanics. The Gentile, him at 13. Go. Anyway, read that Zechariah 11, chapter verse 4. Zechariah 11, chapter and verse 4. See, it's more than one way to prove who the children of Israel is. Keep listening. Like I said, as soon as I got in the Word, no later than after I got in the Word, I ended up in the doggone jail cell because I was down in the CTA subway, like, I got used to watching them. I'm like, and I don't see nobody around. I'm like, okay, let me go down. I went down in the dark, took care of my business. I come back, walk past this plain clothes guy. I'm like, I'm thinking he just walked past me by. He walked up to me, flashed that badge, and I was like, what? Oh. had to turn around, put the handcuffs on me, put me in the clique. And when I went up in there, yeah. Oh, I got an increase of faith. Big time. Read this Zechariah 11:4, read.
Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter,
Yes, sir.
whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty.
Oh my God.
And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not.
Oh, so the preacher ain't gonna tell you about this. The book talk about this. That's why he said, and their own shepherds pity them not. But you got one around, dollar, holla, holla, holla. Want you to scream, sing a song, put the money in the plate. But we the flock of the slaughter. Look at that, y'all. That's way disproportionate. Ridiculous. Now look at this. Not guilty. Oops. A little too fast, y'all. We'll get there. Killer cop, Daily News, walks. Not guilty. This Gentile Tulsa police officer has been acquitted in the 2016 shooting to death of Terrence Crutcher, who was unarmed at a traffic stop. And then this guy here, I should put his name under there, but you know, anyway, I best friend called and said, man, I know who that cop is. Now look at this, y'all. This is the conditions upon our children. Let's go to Jeremiah 9:21. These men were killed. There's 24 cases of us killed by police, died in custody under questionable circumstances. So we don't went from lynches to that. Go.
Modern day lynch.
Come on, y'all. Seems like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Because we are the children of Israel. Read that Jeremiah 9:21.
For death is come up into our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the street.
Look, I even lost my young nephew in Chicago. Shot in the back of the head. Yeah, I mean, man, you know, when me and my brother, I know he was hurt. And that's his oldest son. My first nephew. So when he got hit, you know, man, we just like, hey man, we Israel, dude, that's the way it is. And we'll go to Jeremiah 18:21. See, there's the bitter side of Israel and there's a sweet side. There's good parts and there's some real bad parts. We're going to look at the real bad parts. And that's a bad part, y'all. I know some other brothers that's man. But these are the notable ones. All of these are the ones that we know about. We know another young man that got killed. We had a prayer thingy for him about, 3 years ago? Sister lost her son. So, Jeremiah 18:21. To some foolishness. Jeremiah 18:21. Read.
Therefore deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, be widows, and let their men be put to death.
Yeah.
Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle.
What you think they battling for, y'all? Their life. I mean, man, you know what? Mike Brown, hands up. The man got killed, and the boy got killed, hands up. I mean, you know, man, I don't want to incite no riot or anything like that, or a whole nother mass crowd that marching in the streets. But this is what this driven us to, y'all. But why? It's in the book. How about the children of Israel? We are some of the most major social upheaval situations that have caused a lot of social unrest here in America, y'all. Not realize it because it's the children of Israel. Because the book says it's going to go down like that, y'all. That's why this condition thing, this is a hard pill. And as long as I've been teaching, it still hit me. But let's move right along, y'all. We're going to move to blacks and religious zeal, y'all. Blacks and religious zeal. And we got a lot of zeal. Oh, yes, we do. We sing beautifully. We killer singers, killer musicians. Some choirs out here, beautiful. Beautiful, y'all. Same, man, look, put you to tears. Look. So we're going to this right here. Now, this research comes from the Pew Research Center of Religious and Public Life. Racial and ethnic compositions, y'all. Now, what we're going to look at first, let's go to Romans 10 and 1. Romans 10 chapter verse 1. Read that. Because we got a lot of zeal for God. And we're going to see this in the statistics. The numbers don't lie, y'all. You can see it in our neighborhood. Romans 10 and verse 1. That's why I said I wanted to start it right there in your living room, in your house. I know I had a lot of zeal before I read the book, man. I had some favorite songs. Love to go to church on Sunday. Oh, Jesus is all up, down in my mouth all the time. This is my even the book. I'm like, hey, that's in there? That's in the Bible? Wait a minute. Dude, that's in the book. Read Romans 10 and 1.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Even all the way down to Paul's time, he saw what was happening with our people, y'all.
Amen.
It was sad back then, and when 70 AD hit, that was way worse than Paul said, because Paul got slaved before he died in 67 AD. But he said, my prayer to God is for Israel that they might be saved. Whew. Go ahead.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Man, we got so much zeal. We can rent it, sell it out, put it on a boat, export it, send it to the moon, put it in orbit, and we still kicking it with God, about God, thinking we know God. Our zeal is to the sky, is clearly to the clouds. But knowledge, childish. Go ahead.
For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
See, we as a people we read, he said, I'm gonna make the law honorable. The magnify and make it honorable. The Lord's righteousness is honoring and magnifying the law, but we diminish his law. Therefore, we got what we got. Because we are ignorant of God's righteousness and went about establishing our own righteousness and have not submitted ourselves unto the righteousness of God. Let's go to Hosea 8 and 11. We're going to look at these 3 verses, and then we're going to look at the statistics. We can see it in our neighborhood, y'all. Child, please, are coming up. It was liquor store, church. And I'll never forget when I first came to Las Vegas, child, please. Brother Ray took us to this one area because he told us, hey man, this whole block ain't nothing but church. I'm like, come on, dude. I know we got a lot of zeal for God, but we ain't got no neighborhood that got every house is a church. When he took us over there, I was like, dang, dude, everybody on the block got a church? I mean, it was all of these doggone churches. But everybody got their own clique. How come we can't all just come together? Why can't we all just do what the book says, y'all? But look, Hosea 8 and 8, read.
Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel, wherein is no pleasure.
See, that's why they ain't got no pleasure. Look, we start moving into a place that where all of them at. They like, uh-oh, we can't go. Them boys ain't got no. We are vessel wherein there's no pleasure, y'all. Why? Go ahead.
For they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim have hired lovers.
And it's only describing that we partake in the iniquities of our fathers when they went up to Assyria, and then it said, for they're going, they're wild ass alone by themselves. And Ephraim has hired lovers, and we still hiring lovers now. The more you preach what they want to hear, the more money you get.
Right, it's true.
We still hiring, y'all. That's why we pounding away the iniquities of our fathers. Go ahead.
Yeah, though they have hired among the nations, that will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin.
Many altars to what? You got ministries based on we teach what the people want to hear.
Right.
That's sin, y'all. Many altars to sin. Go ahead.
I have written to him.
Oh, that's it. You finished that verse 11?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Isaiah 30 and 1, y'all. Because we got men in place. I'll never forget when I pulled my brother up out of church. He said, you go teach that stuff over there. I'm going to teach what I teach here. Really? Why he was like that? Because they was paying him to do it like that. It wasn't the word of God. I'm talking about this is my house. Wait a minute. I thought this was going to be the Lord's house. No. Because he hired. We can elaborate on that a little more, but if need be. But we know that dollar, he won't get it. I mean, you know, big time money. Isaiah 30 and 1. Read.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
Yes, sir.
That take counsel, but not of me. And that cover with a covering,
yes,
but not of my spirit.
Oh, it's that covering with a covering. They call it Christianity now. Go ahead.
That they may add sin to sin.
That they may add to sin to sin. So when you come to the book, it calls you to reduce sin.
Amen.
To sin. You start being like, oh, wait a minute. First thing I need to do is start going to church on Sunday. Second thing, I can't read nothing about no Jesus' birthday. And Jesus ain't rising on Sunday. You just reduce some sinning.
Right.
And then the more you learn the word of God, you sin less, and you sin less, and you sin less. Not say you ain't gonna never sin. The book says he that say he's without sin deceiveth himself and is a liar. But it causes you to sin less and less when you come to the word. But you stay up in these zeals for God places, not according to knowledge, you're going to sin more and more. You're going to add sin to sin. Because they're coming with a spirit, but not as his spirit. Go ahead. Verse 10.
That walk to go down into Egypt.
And we're going to show you what Egypt that is. Go ahead.
And have not asked at my mouth.
See, when you ask at the Lord's mouth, you come to a book. But see, whose mouth are they asking at? Go ahead.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
See, each one of these little ministers are Pharaoh, y'all. That's why when my brother got pulled out of there, Pharaoh told him, no, you go teach that over there. I got this house. This my house. Instead of the Lord's house. Go ahead.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
Yes, it is.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
See, and that's why there's so much confusion, y'all, without the book. So let's look at this, y'all. Let's look at the statistics, y'all. I was like, are you kidding me, man? This is really, I mean, it really increases your faith. When you look at the word of God and you come out here and you look at the condition of the children of Israel and you be like, my God, my God. So let's look, hold on, make sure I got this right. Let's go to the first one. Belief in God by race. I want everyone to pay attention to this red box. I put red around the statistics. Now the blue line represents the amount of people that have belief in God. The white folks, 61%. We are at 83%. We lead the pack. Like the book said. Israel got a zeal for God, but now we got mad zeal, y'all. Mad. Let's move to the next one. Importance of religion in one's life by race and ethnicity. Again, we lead the pack. The nearest one is 59%. That's Latinos. But we at a 75% rate, y'all. 75% of us feel the importance of religion in one's life is important, y'all. Next one is we got 75, we lead the pack. Behind us is the Latinos. Then behind them is the other races. And then the Gentiles is at 49%. Go to the next one. A frequency of prayer by race and ethnicity. Again, we lead the pack. Bro, we way out front. Bro, we at 73%. The nearest one is 61%. The Latinos is at 58%. And the Jennies at 52%. We lead, y'all. Excuse me. We lead, y'all. Now, I looked at all of these. I didn't pull every little one of these up. But out of 90% of what I looked at, it was like 2 things that somebody tied with us. 2 things. 2 out of like, well, we're going to keep going. Frequency of participation in prayer, scripture, study, or religious education groups by race and ethnicity. Now it drops here a little bit down, y'all, drop down. But we still got the lead at 39%. The nearest one is the Latinos, they're at 27%. The frequency of participation in prayer or Bible studies or religious education. We still lead the pack. Let's keep going, y'all. Frequency of meditation by race. We still lead, y'all. We out front. Like the book say, Israel got a zeal for God. We do. Look, we at 52%, y'all. The nearest one is 49%. The Latinos. Next one, frequency of feeling spiritual peace and well-being by race and ethnicity. We still lead the pack, 69%. The next one is 58%. That's the Gentiles. No, I'm sorry, Latino. They right back. They behind us at 63%. Source of guidance on right and wrong. Guess who out front, y'all? Do I need to say it? 43% Blackfield. We got a guidance on right and wrong. The nearest one behind that at a 35% is the Latinos, and then the whites at 32%. Next. The frequency of reading scripture. Guess who out front, y'all? Do I need to say it again, y'all? We go. This is just obvious. Just repeat it. When you look at and you study ethnicity, you see Israel. When you look in the book, you look in the book, you look up, you're like, hey, wait a minute, that's Israel right there. 54%. 54% of us believe in the frequency of reading the scriptures. The next group is 38%. We way out front, y'all, way out front. Next, interpreting scripture by race. Look, y'all, we lead the pack. We way out front. We know about Israel because right there, 51% of us believe in the interpreting of scriptures. The nearest one again is Latinos. Next, belief in heaven, going to heaven, y'all. We way out front, y'all. We at 86%, y'all. The nearest one is right behind. Guess who's behind us, y'all? Latinos. Then you got your Jennies, straight Jennies. Belief in people going to you know what? The other place. We just going by, we ain't going to doctrine. We just want to take this survey as it is so you can see how it's fulfilling the book. Who out front, y'all? Who lead the pack? Israel. We at 73% of us believe people go to hell. We living in hell, anyway. But that's another. Well, we actually on that lesson. Sorry about that. We didn't get to that. Well, we already started talking about hell, but they're talking about the hell. Anyway, Isaiah 55. I'm sorry. Whites at 55%, but who's right behind us? Latinos at 61%. We at 73%, y'all. Now move right along. Life expectancy. I just want to throw this in there. Blacks now have a life expectancy of 75.6 years, while whites can expect to live an average of 79 years. But disparities remain. Researchers found that blacks aged 35 to 64 are 50% more likely than whites to have blood pressure. The homicide rate among blacks ages 18 to 34 is 9 times as high as the rate among whites. Now the reason why I put that in there, I said we got all this faith in God. Why we still the lead the pack of what's bad? Because it's not according to God's righteousness. It's not according to the book. Like we read. Here we got a zeal for God. Being ignorant of God's righteousness, we're going about to establish our own righteousness. Therefore, this homicide rate, this hellish condition remains, y'all. it remains. So now let's get to the elephant in the room. Blacks and chattel slavery. Remember, these are the color of the people that he told about slavery, y'all. We're gonna get right to the crux of the matter. Woo! Now look. We're all familiar with these movies. The list of black slave movies based off of Deuteronomy 28:68. I just want to run down this. We got Alex Hayes' Roots, The Gifts, 12 Years a Slave, Birth of a Nation, Zama, North Star, Woman Called Moses, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Glory, Unchained Memo documentary, Prince Among Slaves documentary in 2006, Huckleberry Finn, Abraham Lincoln, Goodbye Uncle Tom. Now that Goodbye Uncle Tom, is that same Uncle Tom Cabin we seen? Cause this one.
I think so.
Okay, cause that when I saw this movie right here, the raw footage, that's the one we should have put an asterisk by that one, cause that one is we could dare to say rated X or rated R. Yeah, because it got some very I was like, man, they did that to our women. They threw cats in the thingy and allowed the cats to rip out babies and some other horrendous, horrible stuff they did in that movie. So I should have put an asterisk by that one. Don't let your kids look at that one with you. You're going to be like, leave the room. No, matter of fact, leave the house. Whew. Anyway, I Am a Slave, The Django Unchained, Too Love to Revolt, Amistad, Tamango, Nat Turner, Something Whispered, 2013, Slaves, Santa Fe Trail, and Retrieval. Now, why they got all of these movies about slavery in America? Why is this? Well, let's go and look in the book. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, y'all. They put it in our face where we're going to run around talking about we be African Americans. But when really, when you think about it, this lesson exposes who really does a sincere and true Bible study in the Word of God. Exposes who the frauds are. Because as much as we have all those movies about, when you go right here, and we talking about right there, Deuteronomy 28:68, read it.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Bring us into Egypt again with ships. Wait a minute, Egypt was right next door to Israel. So he said Egypt by ships? Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye should be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Notice, and there ye shall be sold for bondmen and bondwomen. That's slavery, y'all. That's why you get all these movies right here. That's why Deuteronomy 28 action all day long. That's why it's like that, y'all. And it says sold into Egypt, right, y'all? I just want to put this up there. That's the back of a U.S. dollar bill. Ain't that an Egyptian pyramid, y'all? So we don't went out of physical Egypt back when into what? Spiritual Egypt. That's why the Feast of Unleavened Bread has 2 days to it, y'all. Because the first one, when it got instituted as a side note, was when we physically came out of Egypt. But the second night represents when we come out of this spiritual Egypt. You've been delivered out of that, and you're on your way to the deliverance from the Egypt we in now, y'all. So all of that, look at that, all the slave trade, all of this, y'all. Let's go to Luke 21 and 24. Luke 21 and 24. By ships, we came across the Atlantic Ocean, y'all, into the Egypt we in now. And for Israel, this is Egypt, y'all. Once you wake up, you find out, man, look, he most definitely in Egypt. Luke 21 and 24. How long we gonna be in this, y'all? Read. Luke 21 and 24.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Yes, we did.
And should be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem should be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Now, I do have a lesson that show you that that's a time period from the time that we got sacked in Jerusalem all the way down to when we start crossing the waters. That's when Deuteronomy 28:68 was being fulfilled. Now let's go to Ezekiel 19 chapter and verse 8. Clearly, y'all, the condition is that when you read, you have a genuine Bible study, someone that genuinely believes the Word of God, you genuinely cannot deny historical evidence and facts. Ezekiel 19 chapter and verse 8. Remember, we led away captives into all nations. Watch this. Read.
Then the nation set against him on every side from the provinces and spread their net over him. He was taken in their pit.
Yep.
And they put him inward in chains and brought him to the king of Babylon.
Ooh, so we got brought to the king of what? Babylon. That's whose religion is ruling the land. That's why Bible Christian Fellowship, Bible Christian Fellowship with the Spirit tonight, we had this thing yesterday evening, talking about coming out of Babylon.
Amen.
Because we got brought to the king of Babylon when we came over in chains. Be it 1509, 1603, what's this, all this translated, 1650 through 1860. We're being brought over to Babylon, the king of Babylon, y'all. Let's go here. Now, let's back up in that same chapter of Ezekiel and read Ezekiel 19 and verse 4. Read.
The nations also heard of him. He was taken in their pit. They brought him with chains unto the land of Egypt.
They go Deuteronomy 28:68 all day long. They go that Egyptian pyramid right there. Pull out a dollar bill if you got a dollar. No. Come on, y'all. We're going to get to the poverty part too. If you got a dollar. Look at the back of it. It is physical evidence, undeniable, that we are in Egypt and we got brought here in chains. Look at these pictures, y'all. Look at this. This is Israel in chains. That's off. I think it's off Amistad. Look at that. The whole slave ships, chains. Chains, y'all. Anybody that does a genuine Bible study knows we are the children of Israel. No, they know we the children of Israel. Moving right along. Look at that. You're looking at Israelites. And they walking with chains like the book said. That's what the book said. That's we see. We read it and we see it. We see it and we can read it. Ain't that how God is? He show you. Look, I mean what I say. What I say, that's what I mean. You don't believe me? Don't worry. It's gonna get you sooner or later. That's why we preach the word. Oh, you can say you don't believe it now. We'd be like, give them about a year. Maybe about 3 years. Oh, now you show. Oh, now you see. Oh, we told you that 3 years ago, 2 days ago, last year. This is a condition put upon the children of Israel. So whose hands is this? This is the hand of a what? Right here. This is the hand of a what? Israelite. With chains on it. With chains on it. Did we read verse Ezekiel 19 and 9? We read that, right?
Yeah, we read that.
Because he said they put him in chains, brought him to the king of Babylon. They brought him to hold that his voice should no more be heard upon the mountains of what? Israel. After the hand of Israelite. Right there. There, right there. With chains on it. Right there. What color is that, y'all? Black, ain't it? Just like the book said. What we gonna do with that, y'all? What you gonna do? We gonna spiritualize that away? You think they're gonna read that in the church on tomorrow? They're gonna be like, whoa, dude, what are we doing in here on Sunday when the Gentiles said go there? Our God told us to be on the Sabbath day. That's the first thing we can start sinning against God. But no. Let's move to another sign, y'all. Because what I want to do is go to Deuteronomy right quick before we go to the next one. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Because the Lord told us, his people, he said, look, if you do what I say, you're going to be blessed. See, this Deuteronomy 28 chapter, it was to a nation. And we're going to look at the good parts that he wanted to give us. And then we got the bad parts that we already begun to look at. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Read.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And these blessings shall, all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. So the Lord started telling you, you're going to have blessings on blessings. Blessings on blessings. Blessings on blessings. But let's look at what the Lord said if we didn't hearken to what he said to our forefathers, if they didn't hearken. Skip down to verse 15. Read. But it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, and all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. See, the Lord got before us, y'all, choices. Amen. It's always a choice, y'all, with God. Choices. You hearken to me, I'm going to bless you. That's what he told our forefathers. If you don't hearken to me, then all these curses going to come upon thee and shall do what? Overtake thee. Read them. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. Yeah, please. I'm like, wow. Man, I got many stories. Go ahead. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. That's talking about the children, y'all. Go ahead. And the fruit of thy land. The increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in. When we come in, go ahead. And cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. When we go out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Now look, go ahead. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. Now look, we as people, we as people that had roach problems. Anyway, we were right along, but that's just the beginning. But I'm going to go into one of these curses he listed in here, and we're going to go to this one, y'all. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. A yoke of iron upon thy neck. Skip all the way down to Deuteronomy 28 and 40, because if we went down this whole chapter, we got another hour, didn't we? Read that. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. Ain't that Israel right there, y'all? That's Israel right there, with the yoke of iron on his neck. Now let's go to Daniel's, the 9th chapter. And I want to read something, because the Lord said something here about this curses. We see confirmed that it has occurred, but why did it occur?
Let's go to Daniel 9. Because you got some people that just don't, they kick against reality checks. You kick against a reality check, you gonna bounce, not the check. How about that? Yeah, you gonna be the one get bounced. And you keep bouncing against a reality check, you get bounced right into the lake. In the 8th day, you're gonna get bounced in the lake. You don't wanna do that. But look, let's go here. Daniel 9 and verse 11. Oh, you know what? 7. Let's start at 7. Read.
O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee.
Yes, sir.
But unto us confusion of faces, as this day.
And as this day. Go ahead.
To the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near, and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them.
So we've been driven into countries, y'all.
Amen.
We's not in the land as rulership. We got some of us in the land, but I wouldn't want to be there if I was them. But hey, there's a reason why they there, but we ain't dealing with that right now. Go ahead.
And that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespasses that they have trespassed against thee.
Yes, sir.
O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of faith, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him.
Look, that's why we still alive to this day. Even the seed of those that turn, so we can bear witness to the iniquities of our fathers.
Right. Amen.
So we can sit here and say, hey, that's Israel. That's probably a picture of my great-great-granddaddy. I don't even know it. Could be your great-great-granddaddy. But the Lord's mercy has allowed you to come to this point and be able to point back at that picture and say, that's Israel. That's who we come from. That is an Israelite. Go ahead.
Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law,
Yes, sir.
even by departing.
Some of Israel, it said all Israel had transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Go ahead.
Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
Oh, that is. So irregardless what happened with Deuteronomy 28, where you will go, so these are the blessings I get. No, the curse is what is that. That's to the nation. Now each individual one of us to turn to God, we get blessings. There's other places that talk about how he gonna bless his servants. But that Deuteronomy 28 chapter, that is our ID card. That is the chapter, the black man, the lost man, the African, the Negro. We're gonna look at how many names he got. And believe you me, it's shocking. Woo! Because we have not obeyed his voice, therefore the curse is poured upon us. Go ahead.
In the oath that is written in the law of Moses,
Yes.
the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
That's Deuteronomy 28 chapter, y'all. All day long, go ahead.
And he have confirmed his word.
He has confirmed his word. Look at that. That's called confirmation.
Yep. Amen.
Right there. You yoke or iron on the neck. Go ahead.
And against our judges that judged us,
Yep.
by bring upon us a great evil.
Yes.
For under the whole heaven have not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
Look, y'all, we look at everybody. Look, let me go here. The Japanese got nuked, what, twice, right? Hamasaki and Nagasaki. They got nuked twice. And them boys, they own Hawaii. They own the real estate in Hawaii, tactically speaking. Come on, y'all. They got nuked twice. Look at us. Ain't nobody been devastated like us. And still living the Holocaust. Still. Why they run around hollering Black Lives Matter? Because we still in the Holocaust, y'all. The Holocaust is still flipping our people, y'all. I call it a Holocaust. Because it's a hell of a cost, y'all. Straight up. We go ahead. Verse 13.
As it is written in the law of Moses,
Yes.
all this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
See, this is what this ministry about that we should turn from our iniquities and understand the what? The truth. That's why we are in the condition we are as a people, because of what we just read. Because what? As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil came upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. We got to understand the truth. Go ahead.
Therefore hath the Lord watched upon the evil and brought it upon us.
The white man watched upon us and he brought it. No, I don't blame no white man for what we just read.
Right.
God said he is perfectly and complete in his wisdom and understanding, wise enough to hit us all kind of places. We're going to get there. Go ahead.
For the Lord our God is righteous
Yes, sir.
in all his works which he doeth. But we obeyed not his voice. And now, O Lord, our God, that has brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and has gotten thee renown, as at this day.
Yes, sir.
We have sinned, we have done wickedly.
See. Now go ahead.
O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee.
Look, and we beseech thee. I beseech thee, Lord. Go ahead.
Let thy anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city, Jerusalem, thy holy mountain, because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us.
And we surely is. We'll show you how bad that is. So now, I want to keep moving in this. Because we got a lot I want to bring out in this. It's real important that we understand Israel. Back to the slide. So now we see Deuteronomy 28, one of the curses, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Here we is. You shall put a yoke of iron upon our necks. There it is. The Lord shall bring to Egypt again with ships. Here we are. Come on, y'all. And here goes the part right here, y'all. This is that's in your face. How you gonna deny this? This is actually written by the slave. To be sold, just like he said, and there ye shall be sold. In Deuteronomy 28:68. Right there, to be sold. That's Deuteronomy 28, chapter, and verse 68, right there. To be sold on Wednesday, the 10th day of May. And this is written up in April 27, 1769, y'all. And it says 250 Negroes arrived, with Negroes, y'all. Arrived in the what? Ship. That's Deuteronomy 28:68, 100 miles going north. Who gonna miss that, y'all? Somebody that ain't genuine studying this book. Arrived in ships, y'all. Let's keep it pushing. Now, talking about being sold, watch this, y'all. Woo! Let's go to Joel 3rd chapter, y'all. And verse 3. Come on, man. Look at that. Auctions. Sold. Put it out $29, $3 sold. That is sold. 50 cents sold. Little girl right there. Who you think that was talking about? Read that, Joel 3:3.
And they have cast lots for my people.
Yes, sir.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
Yes, sir.
And sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
That they might drink. Look at this, y'all. All of these auctions of what? They put the word Negro up there. But we know this is all about Israel. 10 likely valuable slaves at an auction. Come on, y'all. Let's get down to verse 6.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold.
Oh, so that's what this is, the selling of the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, huh? In living color. Negro to be sold or let, slaves. What's this? Oh, we was worth $1,200 then, huh? 440 Negroes for sale. Interesting. To be sold, that we like cattle. This is like you big properties, y'all. It's stacking the ships. Oh, look, for Negro girl, what's that, $250? No, little way. Go on, y'all. Negroes for sale. This is the children of Jerusalem. This is Israel. Go ahead. Till we sold it to Grecians, go ahead. Yeah, pick up where we read it.
Oh, sorry.
Verse 6.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem had ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
Child, please, we so far from that border, they think we come from Mississippi. They think I'm out of Alabama. Well, that's where my daddy come out of, but no. Oh, you a Negro, you come out of Mississippi, you that little Mississippi boy. We so far from that border, child, please. They think we, But look what the Lord said he gonna do. Read.
Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold
Wait a
them.
minute, God said he gonna raise us out of the places whither we have been what? Sold. Just like we ain't looking at this word to see God. We looking at this white man and Gentile. Oh man, I can't stand in no races. No. You have a zeal for God, but not according to mine. Because he said, I'm going to raise you out of this place. Whether you haven't sold. Go ahead. Finish that.
And will return your recompense upon your own head.
See, the Lord will deal with the Gentiles, y'all. I mean, the book do say they did further the affliction. And there's some afflictions, especially when you look at that Goodbye Uncle Tom. I was like, I'm glad I know Jesus. Because, I'm like, wow. And I know some good-hearted Gentiles. I'm like, I'm so glad you ain't nowhere near that. Child, please. So now let's take a quick look, because this thing went over time period, y'all. Over time. We migrated out of Israel, fleeing the ones we can read about in Isaiah, Luke. He said, flee to the mountains, the ones that fled. We fled where the black folks is. We fled down in Egypt. We fled down in Ethiopia. But we migrated to West Africa. But guess what? They sold us. And guess what? North America, the Caribbean, South America, the transatlantic slave trade, y'all. Want to keep going? So this is the magnitude. Oops, sorry about that. This is the magnitude. We got sold into the Caribbean, South America, Cuba, even into Mexico, all along the coast, even here near Houston and Galveston. I started to put that in there. I think I did, but it is entirely, all this is Israel going across the Atlantic, y'all, going into Egypt. All this represents Egypt. The whole world represents Egypt to us, really, when you look at it in its totality. So the slave trade, now this is the main routes. Look, 15,000 went to northern U.S., 160,000 of us went to Chesapeake Bay, to the Carolinas and the Georgias, 170,000, and then off of the Caribbeans, 16,000. Oh yeah, 16,000 went to actually over in this area near Houston, Galveston, Louisiana, Mobile. That's why I was reading some of this stuff, y'all. This is real. So yeah, we got down. That's another look at coming to Egypt. Look how we were sold all over the world. It was a triangle slave trade. You had goods going up north. You had human beings, had us going over to Egypt for wine and for all. We were just, 12.5 million people taken on ships. Who do you think that was? That's Israel. 1.5 million people got off alive though. So that means you had 2 million died en route. Died en route, y'all. 2 million of us.
10.5 million got off alive.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So we between the difference of 10.5 mil and 12.5 mil, you got a difference of 2 mil. That died. That's what it is right there. So now, this is, I did put it in here. To Galveston. You had to Galveston, New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina, the Floridas, and right here, because we're in Houston, Galveston is just straight south of us. hour and a half drive away. We can actually go see this Middle Passage, Galveston Town. Yeah, this marker commemorates the enslaved Israelites, I ain't gonna say Africans, in Galveston during the late 18th century, early 19th centuries, as well as those who perished during the transatlantic slave trade known as the Middle Passage. That is the elephant in the room. But I want to get to this. Blacks and bywords and slur names. Guess how many, y'all? Now this is who he told gonna be getting all these bywords. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 28 chapter. And then I want y'all to think of a number. Now, the last number that we have, and I want to pull this out right quick. Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to go to 37. (28) and 37. Read.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Now, why do we become like that? Hold that spot and let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and 26. Now, the last check we did, the people that call themselves the Jews, they had about 41 names, y'all. But I'm going to go Deuteronomy 32 and 26. Why would they call those bywords and proverbs? Not only because of our behavior, but because of this right here. Read that. 26th verse.
I said I would scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
See, the Lord will cause the remembrance of who we are with the curses to cease from among men. So now the last check, y'all. This is how many, I pulled this list up. And look, y'all. This is how long the list is for how many names we got. This is 181 names. But guess what, y'all? How many more names y'all think we get? I'm asking you, how many more? Because there's an increase. Take a guess, honey. How many you think?
225.
Believe it or not, higher. Son, how many you think?
350.
350. Higher. How many you think, Savage?
438.
Guess what, y'all? Higher. I ain't finna pull this out. It went from 181 to 617. All of this, y'all. 617 names they got for us. This is 16 pages, y'all. This is all the names they call us, y'all. This is all of the names that they call us. All of the names, y'all. This is how many different names they call us, y'all. All of this. I put this on his clothes, can't I? You okay? Look, y'all. All of this is the name they call us, y'all. I'm like, you know what? I thought it was bad back then, y'all. I'm like, hold on, let me see. At hold on. Jar Jar. This is I think this is like down in like 200s. Let me go in the. Hold on. This is all the names. Hold on, y'all. Give me 5 minutes. Let me get over there. Street cheetahs. This is our alphabetical. They call us Soutans, blacks, refers to their dark skin color. Sweeties, perception that blacks appear sweaty and greasy. No. Come on, y'all. I can drink. I'm like, look, y'all, I got wings. I can flap. 617 names, y'all. If I started reading this, I'll probably get down there at about 4 o'clock. That's the time for BCTT. No. Anyway. Dang, I'm looking like, are you serious? Oh, they got a new one, y'all. Hold on, let me pull this one up. This one they got a number for us. They got a number for us. It's called 925s. It means it's a police code in suburban LA for suspicious persons. So if you hear somebody call you a 925,
Wow.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. And the Lord said we're going to come a byword and a proverb. And I'm 5'11", y'all, and it's touching the floor. I got wings. Yeah. Oh, silly rabbit. Look, y'all, 617. How many was y'all guessing? Who had the highest number? 300?
I have 100.
Huh?
I have 117.
Child, please. You missed about 200 or something. I'm like, wow. So we went from this list that list, because this is 181. To this. Now, I went and looked at the nearest number. The nearest number is, hold on, y'all. The nearest number to us, the so-called, they got the, what they call Jewish people, they got 127. So they had an increase of, what's that, maybe 80-something names. But we had an increase of, what, 400 and something, y'all? God, please. I can wear this, y'all. I mean, man, there's a lot of paper on the floor, y'all. That's a lot of names, y'all. We got that many names, y'all. Dang! I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So about the byword and the proverb. If you ain't floored by this, that's why they look at you and be like, oh, you a Negro with a t-shirt. I bet that's in here too. Nigga with a t-shirt. I bet that's in here. What's this? Let me see, what's another one there? Let me get to the last name they got for us is TNBs. Acronym for typical nigger behaviors. Wow. Zeus. Blacks in the 13s and 14s used to wear snazzy suits called zoot suits. Zip coons. Black stereotypical character for Annapolonian South. Wow. Read some of them. Let me kind of couple more y'all. I ain't gonna read all of them, y'all. I'm gonna wear these. You know, I mean, like, nah, dude. What's this? Glockies refers to old black character dials. Godwalk refers to old black. No, I'm sorry. No, that's what that was. Referred to old black character dial. The next one is Gores. Rodney Gore, Nick Gore. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I was like, man, look. I'm thinking about making this available on our website, but it just might clog it up, right, y'all? Anyway, what the hell is it? Anyway, Take this, honey. Hold that up. Good grief, man. Oh, she has a long flowy dress, y'all. No. Anyway. That's a lot of names. Dude, that's a lot of names, bro. 617 for you so-called Negroes. That's what they want to go. We get a byword and a proverb, boys. A byword and a proverb. And I thought this was long. No. Anyway, here you go, son. Hold that one. You can. Good grief, man. A lot. All right, moving right along, y'all. That was very entertaining. I don't know about for y'all, but when I saw that, I was really? Yeah, y'all. 617 names. Moving right along. Blacks in poverty. We didn't even get, well, you know. Yeah, I believe. Blacks in poverty. Do we need to go to that? Do we need to talk about the money, y'all? Come on, man. Woo! Okay, y'all, here we go. The black household income. Now, I like this because this one shows you this recent history from Lyndon B. Johnson all the way through Obama to President Trump. Now, the African American median household income adjusted in 2018 dollars compared to the U.S. median household income was the light gray line. So, hold on. This is us down here at 41,000. Look, and this is all USA. They at 63. So we are at. We way well. We what? Well, that's $20,000 underneath the net, y'all. I like hanging on the net. You know, I like to live above the net, above the rim. But you know, oh my God. Anyway, we try to get above the rim, but most of us hanging on the net, y'all. But look what the book say. Let's go to Revelations 2:9. Now, the real median household income overall poverty rate by race. Whites at 70,000 K. This is by Economic Policy Institution, the current population survey data. That's the source for 2018. The Gentiles at 70,000 K average check, and us, we at 41, y'all. So it's income. But the poverty rate for the Gentile is at 8.1%. For us, it's 20.7%. 20.7% of us need a loan. I mean, can I get a nickel, brother? No, literally. Can I get $1? Anyway, read that Revelation 2:9.
I know thy works,
yes,
and
sir.
tribulation,
yes, sir.
and poverty.
You got that right. No.
But thou art rich.
But we rich. Why? Because we the children of Israel. This book is our family heirloom. As they say, it is our family heirloom, y'all. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
And we're going to deal with that on the last Sabbath of this month. Why the Lord say that? We ain't going to go there now. So look at this, y'all. This poverty thing, this thing right here. We actually had to talk about this, y'all. Especially as black folks. You already know. I better not miss my check at the end of this month. No, didn't. Anyway, look at this. The median net worth of a family. For the Gentiles, 171,000. For us, dang. Back in 2016. $17,000. No. You better not miss that check, bro. No. Yeah, come on, y'all. Y'all like, we better not. Look. Anyway. So let's move right past that, y'all. Let's move on to the next one. We know about that dollar situation. Much prayer. No. Blacks and plagues, y'all. Let's go do around 28 and 59. The curse is poured out. It's poured out. Now, we just come through the COVID season. Not come through, sorry. We still in it. But we're going to look at the data, y'all. And I forgot to warn y'all, for this lesson, we're going to go to duration. If you don't like long lessons, bye-bye. But this right here, we're going to get this right here. No, we don't want that right there. Sorry about that. You don't want that right. You don't want them playing, but look. Sorry about that, y'all. Deuteronomy 28 and 59. You really don't want that right there. Read.
Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance,
Yes.
and sore sickness,
Yep.
and long continuance.
Wow.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
Coronavirus. Thank you very much. HIV. Come on, y'all. You know something about that? Coronavirus. We're going to look at that, y'all. We're going to look at that. Oh. Next.
Then will the Lord bring upon thee.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Until thou be destroyed.
Now, let's go to the next. Look at this, y'all. HIV. This is 2018. Look at that, y'all. I mean, we way per 100,000 HIV diagnoses in 2018 by race and ethnicity. Look, we have 47.5%, y'all. The next one is the Latinos at 20. Next, we're going to go to the one that we in right now, coronavirus. Black workers are at greater risk because we need that money. Come on, y'all, I need. Anyway, dang. A greater risk from COVID-19 than their white peers, y'all. More likely to have what? Pre-existing health conditions. And we are diabetes. I find I love my wife. She just got it from my diet. I'm like, okay, honey, yeah. She always said, I want you to live. I'm like, thank you, honey. Anyway, I have to say that. Look, more likely to live in multi-generation households, dense housing, and more likely to work in frontline industries without health insurance, without paid sick days, without the ability to work at home. So yeah, he said he's going to bring every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book. Coronavirus, y'all. Anyway. Next. Now watch this. We're going to get there. Corona. This is the adjusted rates of confirmed coronavirus and non-hospitalization cases, estimated non-fatal hospital cases, and patients known to have died, 100,000 by race and ethnicity. Black, and we've actually, my ex lost her niece, and I knew the sister, and she was very brutal. She was a healthcare worker, and all of us was affected by this, y'all. When I found out we lost daughter, I was like, man, look. Okay, hold on. But yeah, we've all been affected by this, y'all. But look at the amount. Look at us, y'all. Known to have died. The percentage rate. This is 92.3%. When we get it, non-fatal hospitalizations, 271.7. Non-hospitalized, 33.5. I mean, you know some ministers. We know who got hit by this disease, y'all. We know who he is. We know who they are. Move right on to the next thing. Infant mortality rate is bad among us, y'all. Let's go to Hosea 9 and 16. All this comes from CDC, y'all. CDC. Infant mortality rate among us is ridiculous. But Hosea 9 and 16 is the reason why. Lord done poured out the curses. Read that.
Ephraim is smiting. Their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yeah, though they bring forth, yet will I slay even the beloved fruit of their womb.
Wow.
My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him.
Ooh.
And they shall be wanderers among the nations.
See, look, wanderers among the nation. We suffer, y'all. Now look, in 2015, this was where we was at. 11.4. But they want to call African Americans. One out of 117 names. No. Anyway, then we got 2018. You can turn the button. Take it out. Let's take it out. Take the computer. Let's take it. Saturday. Take it. Let's take it. 2018. Now look at us. No change, y'all. Still black women, infant mortality rate. To ensure the health of all women, better data is needed to track the material health among women of additional races and ethnicity. We're still leading the pack, y'all, in infant mortality rate. So with that being said, this concludes our part 2 leg of this. Why us? We got more poverty, more high infant mortality rate, more HIV, more unemployed, more churches, more deaths, more anger, more social injustice. Look, y'all, this is indeed something that needs to be known during Black History Month and taught. And this concludes our lesson, part 2. Why us? From slavery to the prison house. Next week we'll deal with True Israel, the Bible Christianity Church. I do have to say Bible Christianity, y'all. True Israel. 2 parts is required for that. So I hope you guys understand today about the conditions of the children of Israel.